Well, this is going to be my video of, the 2020 deer season and kind of like what it was like to get into hunting as a new hunter, self-taught kind of thing. Big reason I got into hunting is because of the people online making videos and stuff about hunting, hunting public, average jack, archery, catman, mullet man, born and raised outdoors, deer meat for dinner, meat eater, Joe Rogan, Lusk archery videos, all those people taught me a lot, made me think it was something that I could do even without having been brought up hunting, something I could get into on my own. I did have some extended family and like friends that hunt, but it's never something my immediate family has ever done. Uh, I did grow up like shooting like BB guns and stuff like that, so I kind of was kind of into the sport almost, as a kid. Just never went hunting. And then I guess kind of, last year I had a lot of free time and kind of wanted to, I guess I got inspired to kind of go out, hunt, get my own food, have, the highest quality meat you could have too. In the meantime, win-win. I hunt out of my backyard. I'm lucky enough that I live on the edge of a nature preserve, so I get to just walk outside of my house and into the woods and up in a tree. It's kind of like a corner parcel that's mostly surrounded by private, so there's not as much access to like the actual little area that I hunt as opposed to the rest of the preserve, because there's no trails or anything. You'd have to hike through the woods for like, I don't know, a long time, cross train tracks and everything, so it's not like there's a lot of people there except for the people that have permission to access it from private. So there is other people that hunt it, but not that many. You know, going into it, since I did get to learn a lot from these people online, I guess I kind of had some pretty realistic expectations. I obviously wanted to get a deer or good deer. I guess that kind of gives it away. I didn't get a deer this year, but I really just went into it hoping to learn as much as I could about the deer in the area, because it's somewhere that I'm probably going to hunt for the foreseeable future, and it's convenient. So I really just wanted to learn as much as I could. So I kind of went out with the mindset of every time I was out, I was scouting as well as hunting. I started after the beginning of the season, so it's not like I had time to plan ahead as to what I was going to do. And so first thing, not that looking back, I realized I really didn't need camo clothes, but I didn't have any, or like even like good hunting clothes in general. Really, I know you can make do with whatever, and just maybe get like a leaf suit if you really wanted to, and wear whatever winter clothes. I went on down the rabbit hole of looking for hunting clothes, which is if that's a hell of an experience. Ended up with like some Nomad stuff that was on sale. I have a Sitka sweatshirt, some like random pants too. I think I got like First Light rain gear. Some, I don't know, just kind of pieced it together with what I thought was a good deal at the time. That was stuff that at least other people said they used and didn't hate. Not everything. I mean, there's definitely better stuff out there. There's upgrades that I want, and I would say, looking back at it, I would have rather have spent the money I spent on higher quality gear than, some of the stuff that I got. But that's besides the point. Show you my bow though. My buddy, recommended me to a shop. My buddy who has been hunting for a long time. So I got this per recommendation basically of the shop. It's a Cruiser 2 Bear Archery. Came fully equipped with the whisker biscuit and the what are they called, fiber optic sight and quiver. He tuned it for me in the shop, got these arrows with it, and yeah, I was ready to start hunting. Before this, I did go out once with my rifle on public land that just didn't work out, and it was like an hour away. It wasn't ideal compared to just being able to go outside with my bow. So I practiced. You know, I had an archery bag. I started shooting. You know, then I learned that you're not supposed to shoot at the same spot every time. I lost the fletching. Like I said, it was a learning curve. And you know, when I first went out, I actually went out without a stand or a blind or anything, and literally just picked a tree that I leaned up against and sat there with my bow hanging off of a tree next to me, and just looked out for like the first day into the woods where I could see pretty far with my binoculars, and just like scanned for the whole time. Not really expecting to get a shot opportunity, but just to kind of, again, just see where the deer were. And you know, I had my bow just in case I did get a shot at opportunity. I did start seeing deer that first like few days out there. I saw deer. It was really like, you know, inspiring, just the fact that I was seeing deer pretty much every time I went in. I definitely spooked deer going in. I have bedding pretty close to where I usually access, so I'm working on getting permission to access through a little bit different of an area, but more on that some other time probably. But yeah, so the first setup I got was like a traditional hang-on stand. I think it's like a big dog stand. And I think it's like these are their steps too, or sticks. Didn't really know. Like I said, I had watched some videos and stuff before. I didn't really understand the weight and bulk and everything of this, and realized immediately after setting this up once, it wasn't something that I was going to be moving around. Like I said, I didn't start in the beginning of the season, so I didn't get to, you know, scout spots and pick a good. So I put this up with very little scouting done, just like going out once or twice and sitting there in the woods and just seeing where the deer were. Chose this location. I sat in it. I had a couple close calls where like deer came by and none got a shot opportunity. And then one day I was getting down out of my stand a little early. I hadn't seen anything the whole time, so I just figured I'd get back early before it was, you know, dark out, so that way I didn't make much noise, blah blah blah. As I'm walking away from my stand, probably like 20 yards from my stand, this is getting close to last light. You know, I got just enough time to walk back, and it only takes like, you know, 10 minutes for me to get back, so it's not that long before it's, you know, starting to get real dark. But I see a deer walking towards me. I put my binoculars on it, and he's probably like 50 yards away when I first see him, and it's a buck. It's a little buck, I think. It's probably like a spike, or maybe like a 6-point at most, like a small 6. But he was just walking right towards me. At this point, I'm standing still. I'm kind of between like, or in front of some like new growth like saplings, you know, like little inch. There are like 3 or 4 of them, kind of like this stuff. You know, a bunch of this was like behind me. And this is pretty much where he stopped. As you can see, I'm picking up an arrow because I did shoot at him, and when I shot, he ran maybe like 5 to 10 yards. I want to say probably like 7 yards to the right, and stopped and kind of stared in my direction. Kind of stomped at me a couple times, you know, picked up his front hoof, and then slowly walked away while turning and looking at me. I watched him the whole time. He looked completely, you know, found this, no blood on the leaves. You know, I think it was just a clean miss under him. I was shaking, and I think I was gripping the front. Anyway, did not hit him. That was my first real, like, deer close call experience type thing. So after having realized that I wanted to set up some different places, I moved on to a saddle. I got a tethered Phantom. Saw a lot of these being used online, mostly for public land, like not people hunting out of their backyard. But I got it so that way I could hunt everywhere out of my backyard, and also take it to public. And you know, they're kind of the bee's knees in my opinion. You know, I only have 1 season in it. I haven't really used stands, but the second I got in a saddle, it was like, this is how I want to hunt. I mean, it sounds corny, but I literally feel like, you know, like a wood elf from like a book or a video game or something, like hanging from the tree and swinging and leaning. Oh, it's so cool. Anyway, I just think the saddles are like sick. I'll show you kind of some of my setups. You know, got this gear hanger off of Amazon. I'm gonna replace that hopefully soon with a homemade tethered HYS strap. Just gonna have this get sewn. These are two 8-foot ratchet straps. I'm gonna sew them with, you know, a spacer for loops and use these as the strap. I got these two like G or T hooks, whatever you want to call them. They're similar to the tethered ones, but they're not $10. Actually, they were close, but they're made in the USA. They're good steel. So I'm gonna use that next season hopefully instead of this thing, because this had a habit of loosening just because it was just that single, you know, strap just looped back through for the securement method. I did move to a Ropeman 1 instead of the Prusik. I'm thinking about getting a smaller rope, a 6mm, and a just a one of those Prusik tenders, the poor man's Ropeman ascender or whatever, just because I think it will pack better, you know, instead of having bulky bags. That's another thing. I only have one pouch on my saddle right now, so I think one more will make carrying this into the woods even more comfortable. But I also used wild edge steps with a nader and swader to get up in the trees. Let me see if I can show you one of. So right here, these little ropes, you can't really see them in the picture. Let me see if I can't. Right here, these are where the wild edge steps loop around, and you can see the spacing, one here, one here. So the nader and swader really come in handy. You know, you can get like easy 5 feet per step. Anyway, it's not, you know, the easiest way to climb. Nope, it's not the easiest way to climb, but I do like it. Just a couple other like setups. So that's yeah, some of my gear. You can see some of my camo now. This one I think you can see the steps. Yeah, so like right here, these are the steps. Right here. And then I use the Predator platform. These are the Wild Edge bags. You can see. Broadheads, I tried it out with a fixed 3-blade. I forget what brand, and then I got mechanicals, and then I ended up with cutthroats. Yeah, still working on tuning my bow. I'm getting it restrung right now, so next season I'll probably be shooting completely different arrow setup, which is, you know, the plan, but we'll see when we get there. So kind of aside from my first getting into hunting, kind of what I experienced this year, aside from, you know, that close call where I shot him at last light or whatever, there was a very, very large deer that I had a close encounter with. You see how far outside the ears this dude is? I mean, if he's got to be at least what, a 6 point, right? 1, 2, and like 3 here. I don't know. You know, it's hard to tell, but wide. He's far away with a fat head and neck. I saw him on a ridge. Let me see if I got the video of it. Yeah, this was crazy. So I'm on the ridge that I had initially spotted him from. You can see right, oh, thought it would be paused. Right here, this is his antler. And then I lose him and I find him. And there he is, just staring at me. Look at him. Look at that freaking massive deer. But there is some big bucks in the woods. So at that point, I got really amped up on trying to find like a trophy buck for my first deer. Not gonna lie, I was like, imagine if I kill some wide upstate New York suburban buck first deer. Anyway, you know, no one else has, you know, taken me out deer hunting or anything. This is all just, you know, learning how to read the wind and everything from people online, getting the gear that I would need to be able to do the stuff that I'm doing, and it's worked out pretty good so far. That's why I just want to make a video kind of saying, you know, I guess part of this is you can do it too. You know, you can learn how to hunt without someone teaching you how to hunt. This encounter I had. So this setup is actually the setup. I'm standing where I shot. I thought I shot a spike. There's a spike walking by. Again, close to last light. He came in from the left over here, kinda, and walked away. This is where my setup was. Walked away up over here and stopped right in between this tree and another tree, just over to the side of it. Broadside. I had time. I mean, I was nervous. I know I was nervous with my first shot. Like at it, well, second shot, I guess, with a deer in front of me at full draw, and I thought it was a good hit. He gave it. He did a kick, bucked, kicked up his back legs and like took off into the brush. I have a video where I kind of describe what happened.
Standing.
He was
in that opening.
He was standing in that opening.
You ran.
Let's see.
Up here.
Yep. Focus phone. It's all like thick, really high stem count, new growth, like thin stuff. And he came out the other side. There's some like cattails and stuff over here. It's kind of swampy. So that's where I thought he would be. That's the route he took, but did not find any blood. First day we looked, I had like 4 people, between my parents and friends, and coming out to help me at different times. And this was the only time I even thought I found blood, and I still think maybe these were a couple drops of blood, but I didn't find any other blood around it. No other blood around it. Didn't find any blood near the shot. This was like 40 yards away from where I shot at him in the opposite direction that I thought I saw him run. I don't know. And so I never found the arrow. It could be in the mud because where I shot him, it was really wet that day, and the arrow could easily have gone in up to its fletchings unless it hit something solid. But I never found. I mean, I had been pretty much all over. I mean, it could have run out of. It could have gotten wounded and ran out of this piece of woods and into another one. But my conscience is pretty clear on this one. I don't think I mortally wounded this deer in any way. But that was a big disappointment. I was pretty upset that I had shot and pretty sure I hit him, and it didn't work out. And after this, I pretty much just, had a few more sets through the rest of the year. No other real, well, actually I did have one more close encounter. And there is a video where I explain where, but I did have a set where I had a mature buck. I think it was a 6-point stop 5 yards away from me, broadside. And I had my release on the wrong side of my hand, so I wasn't ready for the shot, and by the time I got my bow and my release and everything, he had walked away and not in line of sight, or didn't give me a shot. I was really mad at myself for that one. And after that, I made sure that, once I was in the tree and I was sitting there, I was ready. No downtime. But I am super pumped for next season, because I do have trail cams out now, and I'm starting to pattern some of the deer, where they're coming and going at what times, what weather, what wind. Some pretty cool historic rubs that are right near my house. I mean, look at these things getting torn up, and you can see, their tines are touching over here too. Main beams here, they're out here. There's some deer back here. But there also is, a lot of this was a real late season rub. I forget when that was, but it was supposed to be post rut. Oh, that was one of my stand videos. This is me practicing setting up. Those were videos I didn't have labeled. I was trying to figure out what they were. But another day I was walking in during the rut, and as it says, a big buck was chasing a doe right here in front of it, just behind the houses, right as I was walking in. I was hoping they'd kind of come back, but I should have set up over there. I think, well, in hindsight and everything. But really excited. I have, hopefully a coyote hunt this month. Alright, well, the outro I had was lame as hell, so I'm gonna record another outro. I'm pumped. I got coyote on camera. I got like 10 or 11 turkeys on camera. So hopefully I'll be in the turkey woods in May. Also, let me know if there's any kind of questions you have for me as, like, you know, a new hunter and a self-taught hunter. You know, maybe why I chose the gear I chose, how I decided on where, how to hunt when I go in, you know, access. I can show you some maps of where I hunt and the strategies I've used and how I've decided. And definitely I want some advice. I'm a new hunter, but let me know if you have any questions or any video ideas. Hopefully I'll have one on coyote soon, and hopefully on deer update soon too.